Hey everybody, welcome back to Rabbit Motorworks. Today is the day. We are finally going to try to get this thing started. We're going to step through, going through all the fluid installation, as I made a run to Walmart a couple of videos back. We're going to start with the gear oil. I also got some other oil change extravaganzas coming up on the Suburban and the Subaru, so I'll have a busy weekend ahead of me. The other aspects of things, just to get it all situated and ready to go, I'll get you guys updated from what we did between the last video. Got the seats back in, primered the floors with some Rust-Oleum white primer. Things look pretty nice. Everything's good. I put some black rust restore paint on the sills, got all the rust off. I also did the shifter surround just to kind of tidy things up even more. And then on the other aspects of things, really worked to get the bottom end of the car tightened up. So I got the rear wheel back on, the exhaust pipe, extension pipe, catalytic converters in, and then also the brake cable and related. So along with the drive shaft too. So should be an exciting video. It's early morning here and all raring to go. So let's start getting into putting some fluids in this thing. Here we go, guys. This is a view from under the car. Cat's in. All the patches are sprayed up with undercoating. Looks pretty good. And we're gonna go after this oil fill here on the diff, as I had drained it from doing the pinion seal. So I'll try to get this, I've already got this thing loosened up here, so should be pretty straightforward with filling it out. Just be ready to go with the plug. And it's the first time I've used this flexible stuff. Looks like the first thing I need to do is go and cut this cap open with a utility knife. Back with that. All right. Let's hope this goes smoothly. Okay, we're in the hole. And this is just adding back what had drained out from the front. And it was a considerable amount of fluid, so hopefully this is enough to get us back where it was. Well, this container really helps with this location because I can't even imagine trying to get a bottle in here, but I do have like a gear oil pump too that typically connects onto the bottle. So, oh, I think here we go. Perfect. Okay, let's not let this thing spill over here. Okay. Good and tight. All right. Okay. That's it. It's on to the next fluid fill. Okay, so we're moving over to the engine. Main capacities. Crankcase takes 6 gallons of 6 quarts of oil. The cooling system takes at least I believe close to like 3.7 gallons according to the book. And the transmission, I've got 2 gallons of transmission fluid, and that's going to be kind of dicey based off of what's remaining in the torque converter. And then I also did buy some power steering fluid because it was kind of, I don't know, it just wasn't like, it was kind of runny, and I don't know if some water had got into it or whatever. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to steal the old turkey baster out of the kitchen and try and suck as much out of that. I don't have a fluid extractor. That would really be the way to go. But take all that out of there as much as we can, and then replace it with some fresh fluid, and that'll hopefully ensure that you know, no water's. I'm sure no water's gotten into the rack and everything else. So hopefully that'll be good. Yeah. So let's go on and start doing the oil fill. Okay, we got a couple of funnel options. I've used this before, but it's a big mouth. But the problem with these things is they don't snugly fit in, and then they get to the point where they can just fall out. So I bought that new funnel, which is the flex funnel, but you can take it apart, and I think I'm going to use that because it seems to rest against the brake master cylinder and gives me a larger area to pour. So I think that's a safer bet. So let's do that with our Quaker State 10W30 conventional. Here we go. So she's thirsty. All right. Cool. Let's check dipstick now. And let me walk you guys over here. As you can see, we've got our new smog pump on as well that came in. So everything is here, and I did the full assembly trying to get the air cleaner back together with all the bits. I did it on replacing all of the vacuum lines too, because I just got to the point where they weren't sealing. And I did buy a spool of Gates 27042 5/32 vacuum tubing, and I used a large amount of it, and I'm glad that I did. The other thing that I ended up replacing as well too is the hose for the vacuum canister. Did not, it had a vacuum line on it, a 5/32 vacuum line that somebody had replaced. So I put the proper 1/4 inch fuel line on that as well. So lots of corrections. And then the other thing, and we'll get into it when we take the air cleaner off as well, is all of the vacuum line routing was incorrect. And if you guys look, there's a vacuum line diagram roughly here, but this diagram as well I took from the Haynes manual that I've got, and I printed that out to make sure everything was traced properly to the right locations. So that should be added plus as well too. And you know, when this thing fires up, let's hope it runs a lot better as well. So okay, let's check this oil now. It's been a bit of a minute there. See guys, that was strategic to see if we could let the oil kind of get down into the pan. So, and I think it's a good thing that we're letting it sit in a little bit. And that looks good. Full is there, so there's about a quart to go, so that looks good. And glad to see oil back in the pan. So I think we'll end up putting another quart in there, but I want to double triple check to make sure that it's 6 quarts. So I got something in my mind that said 5.7 quarts, but that might have been my Camaro. But either way, I want to double check. So I'm going to get the manual out to spec it all out. And I'll probably show that to you guys as well. I think the other thing we could either move to is the coolant or the automatic transmission fluid. But I think we'll start on, well, it doesn't really matter. I think we'll start on, let's pause and we'll get the specs on the oil and make sure that's correct. I just want to make sure everything's perfect here. So, okay guys, got the manual out just to get specs here. The engine for cooling system, 21 quarts. So that's, we've got 8 gallons of coolant, and 50/50, that's 16. So we're almost short a bit. Maybe we'll make up some of the difference in water since we're in California. Maybe we'll be a little under for 50/50, which is I'm okay with. Then the turbo hydromatic routine change is 3 quarts, fill from dry, 10 quarts. So that gives us an idea on that. Now with the oil capacity, I started looking here to try to find that, and I'm not finding much in this manual. And one of the things is that these Firebirds had quite a myriad of engine choices. They ran a Chevy block in them. They also ran an Oldsmobile block in them, and the Pontiac block as well. So I think with the oil then, I'll probably go online and try to get that value. So let me go do that and we'll take it from there. It's kind of a bummer that this thing doesn't have the listing, you know, by engine of each one of those. Here's the lubricants and related, but I'm not, and we're basically on 10W30, but I'm not seeing a whole lot here for the actual capacity of the crankcase, so, which is interesting. Anyways, I'll keep digging. I must be blind. Right here, standing out right in front of me. Engine crankcase oil capacity, 4 US quarts, 5 US quarts with new dry filter. So I am glad that I waited and just put 5 quarts in. Okay, let's recheck the oil. And I think that's good, guys. It's literally right in the full range, and I think the add 1 quart range is right here, so I was misreading the stick. I thought it was like this number up here or whatever. So I think we're good. All right, cool. And it's 5 quarts, and so we got a quart to spare, which is fine. And now let's put some transmission fluid in this then, since we're good on the oil. ATF, here you come. I think we will start with full drain here. Okay. There we go. Of course, you check this full hot. It's registering the stick, but there's not a lot there yet, so that might be enough for now. That's 3 quarts. Okay, I think we're good for now with the ATF, and we're gonna get the coolant going next. I wanted just to be super cautious to not put too much fluid in the transmission, because once you put too much in, it's a bad thing. So I got a suspicion because I had the pan off and I had the pan sitting off for quite a while I was like working on straightening the pan out, that I may have lost more than typical fluid change because things probably drained out through the converter. I'll find out as soon as I get going on it and we get it started. Then I'll just basically make sure I add some stuff up and get it so that it's hot and everything else. But as long as there's an initial amount of fluid in there, I think that's fine. So I think we're good. So we got oil, ATF, gear oil. Now we'll do coolant. And then I think we'll move on to power steering. So let's do it. So this is what the power steering fluid looks like. It's kind of a brown, I guess, reddy color. And it doesn't look so healthy. So I've got the turkey baster that my wife's probably going to kill me for using, but I think that's the only way to basically extract things out. Her and I have a history of like, where's the turkey baster, as I've used it for brake fluid over the years as well too. So let me see if I can get this kind of situated here. So this is gonna be somewhat messy. Oh yeah, that doesn't look too healthy to me. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to clean this up if I don't go into the primer bulb. I don't know, it's probably not a good idea with food consumption and everything. Yeah, this looks really ruddy. So, alright, as exciting as this is to watch, it's quite a lot of fluid actually. Ooh, I want to make sure that this doesn't fall or we'll have a big old problem on our hands. I guess the real clean way of this would be to actually drain this, but that's a whole nother set of problems. And is this really critical to getting the motor started? Probably not. It just kind of caught my eye because the power steering pump was moving around. Okay, there's our fluid. I don't know what the measurement of that is on this catch-all container I've been using here, but we got a quart here, so we will take this. Actually, this isn't a quart, this is less than a quart. This is 946, oh, that's a quart, yeah. I was gonna say, just different style bottle. Can never tell these days. Alright, let's put some of this in there, measure it up and get it going. Okay, that's topped up. It's questionable that I even needed to change this out or add it, but I just figured it makes sense to kind of check off the box. Maybe I'll end up changing all of it when I get the car running here. Alright, that's probably good. Now let's get the coolant going. So, there we go. Let's put this cap back on the ATF. Alright, cool. Okay, coolant. We're going to use our flex funnel top. Hope for the best. It's kind of nervous. The other thing I thought about and don't have is distilled water, which really is the better equivalent to use compared to regular tap water, because tap water, it's got all those minerals. I wouldn't say our cooling system's pristine by any matter, but it definitely may be a good thing to change it with some distilled water though. So I might go run to the grocery store. Here we go. And now my mind just ran to my nervous space about, is the spigot closed? It is. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Well, this funnel seems to be doing a good job. So this is Walmart special. I really can't go wrong. You guys try to go buy your fluids or oil or whatever anyplace else, you know, let me know in the comments, but I'm not finding anything cheaper than going to Walmart. So, all right, that's a gallon for starters. I'd like to kind of mix it up with some water next. Let me go get some distilled water and come back. Back with some refreshy. Here we go, put some distilled water in now. There's a gallon of that. So we'll be at 2 gallons in the system. I suspect, guys, it's going to take some circulation to get this rolling, and that should be good. And then we can adjust later. I bought 3 gallons of this stuff, so yeah. All right. Curious to see how that. No, let's get played here. See what this looks like. Yeah, it's not there yet. So let's keep going. More coolant. I'm kind of inclined too to mix this up 50-50, but I don't know. I think it's all good either way. So, but now that we got a container, I think what we'll do is start going 50-50. So let's do that and get our containers separated out. And balanced. That way we can get a good mix. More filling with our 50-50 mix. Cool thing about this is then when we are ready to go, we just add more and the 50-50 is already blended. Pause to see where we're at here. Ways to go. Back from Walmart, guys. More 50-50. And we bought the wife a replacement turkey baster. I also got some oven cleaner to take care of the inspection cover because it's all full of grease. It needs to be repaired. And, oops, that's it. We are full. So, the other thing I bought was a bottle to put gas in so we can load up the bowl in the carburetor, because that'll be the next thing. Okay, that is full. And we got about a half a gallon left. That's good. So, we'll soak up the mess with the towel here, rag. Get this all cleaned up. Okay, so we got all the fluids good to go. I think the next thing is getting the battery in. That'll get us well positioned. Maybe line the camera there too, we're a little off kilter. And that'll basically give us some power to the system. We'll check to make sure everything is okay, connecting everything, all of our wiring, all that regular connections are related. Then I think we might crank it a little bit without putting any gas in it, just to get some oil going. And then from there, I think I'll add some gas to the fuel bowl to get it to try to crank over. So let's put the battery in then. Ooh, exciting. So here we go. Okay, battery is installed. And we've got power, because I was just testing the, well, I guess that's the, if you left your keys in the car. But I think this ignition switch has been kind of goofy. Oil pressure gauge just went down. It was at like 40 something. So volt is 12, quarter tank fuel. So let's give it a quick turn and see what happens. It's working. It did do a bit of a clink to engage the starter. Okay, that's good. Everything's turning over. I don't hear any weird noises. That's positive. So let's get some fuel in that bowl, guys. Here's our Walmart condiment bottle with our gas. So we'll need to dig up a funnel here. There we go. We'll use this one. I think that'll work for it. So let's get some gas in that. Get that, guys. I turned it over just to get some more spark in it, and it started going. We got a fuel bowl leak here though. Alright, I'm gonna shut it off, it's leaking gas. Okay guys, pretty anticlimactic. I didn't have that on video. I was literally just cranking it again to try to put some more oil off camera, and it started up, so which is awesome. I'm super happy it runs. However, something is leaking right out of the accelerator pump right here. So a seal is not taking hold here, and so I must be missing something, or something's not configured correctly in that. So I am going to have to take off the top of the air horn here and figure out why. But I mean, the cool thing is this thing is running, and I was like just soaking up the gas that kind of ran over. But man, that's awesome, this thing runs. So it was also awesome that it just started up unexpectedly like that. I was like, wow, how turnkey is that? That's just so cool. So anyways, nothing seems to be leaking anywhere, which is awesome too. So I mean, it's running. I think it was kind of stumbling a little bit, obviously, because the air cleaner's not on, so there's a big gap right there. But yeah, I need to figure out why loads of fuel are coming out of the accelerator pump thing there. I'm guessing a seal or something is missing there. So let me dig into that. That'll be the next thing. But woohoo! All that work, guys, it's finally paid off. We got a running machine, so that's awesome. And apologies I couldn't get that ready to go, but yeah, it caught me by surprise too, because I thought I would just keep giving it some more you know, oil priming or whatever. So it's so awesome that it ran. All right, let's dig in to try to figure out what's going on with that fuel bowl then, and the accelerator pump. Okay, I think what's going on with the accelerator pump is I've obviously got too much fuel coming out of the bowl into the pump cavity. That would indicate that potentially the needle and seat isn't stopping. Literally the float lifts up to close the needle and seat. So I need to verify that is the case with the float and make sure that that's sealing properly. Otherwise what's happening is the gas is just pumping way too much, and it's got to go someplace, right? So then the only overflow of that is out of the accelerator pump hole, which is the only open orifice to the bowl other than this one, which is at a higher level. But, so one of the cool things I did recognize though, guys, is this is the neat thing, is I looked at the oil pressure here, and I'm at like in between 40 and 80. And low battery, guys, and she died. But I was talking about the sustained oil pressure that was there. That's one of the cool things about this gauge. And it's sitting between 40 and 80, so that's 60. 60 is a good number, so that means when it did run, we got good pressure. All right, so executive decision. You either work on the carburetor with the thing on top of it, or you take it off and put it on the work on the bench. I think I'm gonna opt for working on the bench, as once this top comes off, this thing is literally a three-handed job trying to keep the air horn on it. And now that everything's clean, it just makes a whole lot of sense. But yeah, let's take it off. I don't think it'll be too much work to take it off. Let's hit it. Okay guys, I'm in carb teardown mode. Took it off the motor to work with it. I'm not seeing anything glaringly obvious. The float seems to be working okay. And it seems like the needle and seat is going down and closing. The only thing that I can really determine here is the height of this float. And if this is closed and the adjustment is where it's at, I guess I'm a little high on the float by probably, a bit here. So maybe what I need to do is take it off and readjust it to spec. I checked the old seat, and just to make sure that I didn't forget to take the washer off it, but I did, because sometimes doubling those up can cause problems. This is the old float and needle and seat. One of the things I did notice, it was hooked onto there, and it said in instructions to make sure that it wasn't hooked into one of those things and it was floating freely, which is how I have it. The adjustment angle on this float is definitely different. One of the things I could try is I could put all that stuff back in and give it a spin, but I was just concerned over the condition of it. So let's drain the gas out of this, and then let's basically take out the float, look at the adjustment, and make sure that nothing has changed, and double check the specification from the guide. That's really, what starts to become the thing, because if you look at, in here where the accelerator pump goes, you can see it'll start pumping gas through here pretty good, so it's working. The other thing is that there is down here there is a hole that allows fuel to come into this chamber. So what happens then is if it's pumping too much fuel, it's basically coming right out of here, if that's the case. And so that would almost indicate either the pressure of the pump is too strong, which, I highly doubt, that pump looks like it's the right one, but it's a Delco, it's a quality pump. Or this float isn't closing the seat, and this fuel level is too high in the bowl. And if that came down more, that would definitely reduce the fuel coming out of here as well too. So that might be the scenario that I want to play around with. So let's do that. Let's get the gas out of this and then look to check the adjustment. So already the side-by-side adjustment of the old float versus the new float, this is definitely down at a more severe angle than the previous. So this was what was in there. So I want to definitely double check that, and if I'm incorrect in setting this and this was the original one, then that might be something to play around with. So that's kind of suspect or telling. I don't see any debris inside of the seat, and the bowl looks pretty clean, and I pulled out the other spring out of there, so I think I'm safe to be able to dump this upside down in a pan. So anyways, I wanted to come back on camera and show you guys that too. Okay guys, another part variation or difference. So this is the old seat. I took that out too to compare. As you can see, that's got a through hole in the base. This does not. So there is a definite significant part difference there, and this looks identical as far as the seat. So man, I don't know, that almost seems suspect to me. So now I'm kind of inclined to throw the whole shebang, old needle seat, everything back in it and give it a go. Or even just replace out the new seat with the old, or the new needle with the old seat. Because that kind of tells me something. It's almost, if fuel's coming in, what is that all about, right? So, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna try what works and give this a shot and see how it does. So let's put that in there instead. Okay guys, we made some executive decisions here. So what this thing is either window or windowless. And this one is windowless. I guess if you have a window, it's more high flow for performance. This is the old seat, or old needle. So I put in the old seat with the new needle, and then I noticed that the adjustment for the float was at 17-30 seconds according to the spec here. And if we look at the Pontiac 76 350 engine, actually float level here is specification ID. So this is based off of carb number, which I did not confirm that was our carb number, and either way 13-30 seconds on this one, so we were at like 17-30 seconds on that. So then I was looking at 76 and related, and then we get into some other specs. So our specification was R right here, and 76 is 17-30 seconds. So that's what I had originally set it at, but after speccing this out and then looking at another Quadrajet video, the one that's in there I measured at 9:30 seconds. And 9:30 seconds, I believe, is what the old float was at, and that's a common setting to go with. So we're gonna try that old setting with this, and either the windowless thing or the old new float dimensions. We'll give it a go. And so I got it all put back together, so let's slap it on the car. All right guys, we're turning the camera back on because we're gonna try to start it again. Here we go. Here's your initial start. If I can get the key to turn. Yeah. Here we go. start it up, and I put some more AT in it, so let's run it through the gears and see how she does. Working okay. The oil pressure is really good. Not getting the coolant temp though. Okay guys, here's a recap. Added 2 more quarts of AT. That's for a total of, we got 2 quarts left, so that's 8 quarts. So it definitely took a lot of AT. Ran through the gears, reverse, forward, everything works. Things came in. It was a little jittery getting into reverse. Seems like it's running a little smoother too. I think it's just the stop start, getting the fluids to soak into the system, do all those things that it's supposed to do. I'm gonna take it down off the jack stand, so we're getting ready to back it out. I think I'll also put the air cleaner and related back on it, and it should be good to go. Yeah, just exciting. Literally months trying to get it to this point, and everything's coming together good so far. So I'm fingers crossed and hope everything is good. So I can't imagine, I just can't believe how nice and quiet the car sounds too, because when I first got it, that exhaust pipe was blown off of the back of it too, and that was really a, it was really loud. Now it's like you start it up and it just sounds pretty quiet. So yeah, anyways, I'm stoked. I think it's awesome. So let's do that. Let's get it off the jack stands and see if we can move this bad boy around and put it out in the driveway. Yeah. Okay guys, it's running decent. Pulled in a full 10 quarts of ATF now. I've noticed something going on here with the EGR. And it's got some kind of an exhaust leak coming out of that. So either the diaphragm or the pull-off valve, or the EGR valve itself is bad as it's leaking. So it's got kind of a dieseling right around this area, and you can kind of hear it. So I'll have to investigate what that's all about. But for the most part, it's starting to, you know, it's starting to run pretty decently. And I think just having it idle like this to get up to speed is good. So I'm going to use it a little bit more through the gears to see if that ATF helps it from moving back and forth. So here, I'll set it up here so you guys can see. There you have it, guys. Running and driving. Amazing. The transmission cable definitely needs some adjustment. It doesn't seem like it's going in park. It was for a minute, and then it doesn't seem like it was, but I just tested out our brake and our emergency brake and everything else, and that works great with our new cable, of course. Cool. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. It's basically been the clincher of trying to get this thing back on the road. So, we're going to take it from here and do some other stuff, of course. But hope you guys subscribe. Stay forward to the next one. We'll have more to come on the Firebird, and hope you enjoy this one. Thanks so much for watching.